Thank you all for being here today. Thank you to Amanda for this wonderful presentation. I think she got an A plus. Actually, no, A minus, because my name is Maggie De La Cruz. Right. De La Vega. So she gets A minus. But everything else she was right on point. So I'm happy to be here today. We're going to talk a little bit about the joy of traveling well. So when you think of a vacation, when you think of, what's your next experience, you're not necessarily thinking, you know what, I want to jump on board a 4,000 passenger ship. No. Or you're not thinking, I'm looking for, oh, this is my luggage. Everybody wondering why I have the luggage ready. We'll get back to that. I just wanted to show it off for a minute. We will definitely get back to that. So you're not thinking about, how many passengers are you sailing with, what's included, what's not included. You're thinking about the destination that you're going to and the reason that you're going there, right? The reasons of why we travel. So I want to see, just so I can get an idea by show of hands, if you could wake up tomorrow, anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Australia.
All right. A woman that knows exactly what she wants. I love it.
Portugal.
I actually have slides, but it's a little. So Alaska, anyone? I show Alaska. I'm actually going there next week, so 2 hands for me. Super excited about it. How about Asia?
Sure.
Okay. If you've been, let me know also, just curious.
Been there.
Last month.
Nice. Okay.
Australia.
How about Italy?
Been there.
Too much, you guys.
4 times.
World of travelers love it. Greece?
Been there.
No matter.
Okay. Cartagena, Colombia.
Been there.
Yay! Okay, so this is one of my favorites, and it's one of my favorites because I'm from Colombia.
Are you?
I'm from Colombia, and so I've traveled to so many different places, and had all the foods and trying to learn the different cultures. And then one day I woke up and I said, "But I don't even know my country because I was born there, but I was raised here." So I decided to not visit family, but to go back and see it as a traveler.
Oh.
And I am so glad I did because it was like seeing it through a whole different lens. It was learning a culture and a country from my own experiences, not from what someone told me or from what I saw in a magazine or saw on YouTube. It was exactly what I experienced. So it just confirmed. I love being Colombia, by the way. So anyway, good. So the good news is, Oceania Cruises, we offer immersive destinations. We call into all 7 continents, over 600 ports. Our sailings range anywhere from 7 all the way to 186 days. So any of them could surely fit your schedule, especially if you're recently retired and you're looking to take some time off. It's a perfect opportunity to make that happen. So we do also have a lot of different shore excursions, which we'll talk about also to what you do.
Is that Julia Rollins?
So now I'm going to show you again. Which one of these also is enticing to you? Because I just kind of wanted to see something. So Italy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Japan.
Yeah.
Greece.
Yeah, sure.
We're easy.
And then of course Colombia. Coconut rice, platanitos, and fried
It was great.
grouper. Amazing, right? So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is somehow we always connect food and travel.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that picture with Julia Roberts eating that pizza, it just made me feel like, okay, I need to go have that pizza, and I want it there, right? Same thing anytime you see pasta dishes or anything like that. So with that in mind, Finest Cuisine at Sea is probably one of our strongest pillars. That's one of the pillars that most new to brand guests know us for. We are that foodie cruise line. So we do have, one chef for every 10 guests. We have, actually, I think that's changing to 8. That's why I stumbled. But for now, it's still 1 for 10. Every dish is prepared au minute. So, all of our dining venues, our specialty dining venues, they're complimentary. You don't have to worry about being nickel and dined. If you go into the Polo Grill, which is the steakhouse, if you're going to get an upcharge, same thing with Toscana, which is our Italian dining, also complimentary. Actually, one of my favorite dishes there is from Giada De Laurentiis, who happens to be one of the godmothers to Vista for our chefs. So as Amanda said, we have celebratory chefs. Is that the correct word? Celebratory chefs on board. But of course, we have Jacques Pepin, who is our executive culinary director. So this all actually began way back when with Jacques, who taught us about fresh ingredients, fine dining, and it's not just saying, oh, we offer cuisine and this and that, because the way that we see it is, culinary is not an amenity. For us, it's really part of the Oceania experience. So that's why we wanted to share that with all our guests on board. And we were actually the first cruise line to pioneer the cooking class at sea, the first culinary hands-on cooking class at sea. We have Chef Kelly, who I want you to hear, and I'll let her in her own words kind of describe a little bit what it's about. I love me some Chef Kelly. I think she's absolutely amazing. She has so much knowledge, and the way that she just explains things, and all of our other chefs on board as well, because they are also, very knowledgeable in their own right. So being able to have some cooking time and hearing the stories and the tips, like what Amanda says, can slap the rosemary and the cinnamon, those are things that you don't really know until you actually hear it from a professional. So she's also a perfect example of who the Oceania guest is, because it's just as important as where you go is who you go with, right? Who you're traveling with. And traveling with like-minded individuals, people that are, common interests of the same age group. So a lot of times the first question I get asked is, well, what is your demographics? What age group? That's what they're looking for. My answer is a little convoluted, because I don't necessarily believe in the, age group category. I believe in the experiences that you're looking for. We've also heard people say, 50 is the new, no, 70 is the new 50, right? I say 70. Well, no, 70 is the new 70, because we're not trying to be younger, but we're continuing to grow. And I'll include myself in that, because yes, physically, I'd love to live 25 and 30. So I get that part, yes. But I also love the experiences that I've had, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. And I want to continue to grow and build from that. And I love having these conversations with people on board. So I think it's very important that, that we have that commonality on board and not have, all these different, I guess, wanting to be one thing for everyone type of a sailing. So we've also gone with adults only atmosphere on board, and that was because of our past guests of the surveys. We do pay attention, we really, really do. And many of them expressed the fact that they wanted to have an adults only atmosphere, more relaxed, more calm. Not to say that kids can't be relaxed. And we didn't really have that many children, but I guess it's just the free feeling of knowing that just because you left your grandkids at home or your kids at home, you're not going to have to worry about someone else's kids. And so it's just that open feeling that they were looking for, and we said, you know what, it absolutely makes sense. We still have our sister brands Regent and Norwegian that are happy to take your grandkids for your nieces and nephews and kids. So it's not that we're not welcome to families. They just have to be 18 and older. And so we love that. It just creates a more, calm and warm service. So to that point, I actually wanted to pause for a minute and talk about this moment that was, it's more of a personal moment that I have to say, this changed my whole way of looking at travel. So my daughter, she is 25 years old, and she had always wanted to go to Iceland. So I said, sure. It wasn't really a destination I was in search of, but she wanted it. So of course, Mom, let's make it happen. We did the ATVs, we did the hiking, you name it, right? One morning I woke up and she was already out of bed. Now, they sleep until late. And I was like, wait, where'd she go? And when I looked out, she was just sitting there on the veranda staring. And when I saw that face, I thought, you know what? It took me back to when we used to do our road trips when she was like 10 years old and she would just stare out the window. Not a laptop, not a phone, completely detached from all her friends, from work. And I thought, you know what? I got my daughter back. Not that I lost her, but that connection, right? To be able to really have that one-on-one connection. So to me, travel is about connecting. that was my why. So I want to connect with, family, friends that I travel with. Be careful who you select to travel with, if it's family or friends. That's also very important. But I like meeting new people and hearing their experiences. Even for her, she was talking to someone about Bitcoin, or no, they were talking to her about Bitcoin. There was a gentleman who was an inventor of a dish bowl for dogs that the water continuously runs out or something like that. And she was just fascinated by it. And she says, Mom, I love this cruise line. And yes, I'm younger, but I love everything that they had to say. So don't get caught up on, demographics or age groups. Think of what you want, what your experience is that you're looking for. Here's another one of my experiences. Some people want to disconnect when they travel. Sometimes I need to connect. I'm fortunate that I have to travel for work. So this was a day in the office for me. That's Mendenhall Glacier way back there. I know, isn't that amazing? So sometimes it's just about taking your office, or maybe you have the luxury of being able to work remote and still making time to take advantage of both. So keep that in mind. Always don't think you're going to have to just check out completely because you're traveling. We do have free Wi-Fi for 2 guests on board, and it is Starlink Wi-Fi. So sometimes the greatest luxury isn't where you go, it's who you become while you are there. So I would love to hear anyone that wants to share a feel-good story of their best travel moment, or maybe who their best travel companion is. Does anyone want to share? No? Not enough, not enough, good enough. Warm, good enough. You drink yet?
I used to be able to scuba dive when I was younger and had a lot of surgeries, so I'm not able to do that anymore. But I did a liveaboard dive boat in Australia, in the Coral Sea and the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh my God.
And we got to see the humpback whales and minke whales and hammerheads, and we went to the cod hole. And it was just, it was a very relaxing experience. I always loved being on the water. So that was something, but I loved Australia. I went to the Outback, I was Melbourne, I was a Great Ocean Road, I did all of that. And it was, when my doctor had told me when I was younger that I had cancer, I said, I can't die, I haven't been to Australia. I'm gonna live in both because we got it early. And so that was one of my dream trips. I saved up my $50 miles and I went business class over there because I had flown to Tahiti in that was my other destination, I told him. And but yeah, it's just when you travel, people say, oh, it's just terrible traveling now, blah, blah, blah. But I'm looking forward to the destination when I get there and the experiences and the way I'm gonna feel.
Yeah. And I think sometimes they're missing the picture and they're getting caught up on all the trivial stuff, right? The traffic.
Like you gotta have a 19-inch carry-on when you go to Europe. Right. And I'm gonna be there 19 days with a carry-on and a backpack. Okay.
Exactly.
And they weigh that when you're in New Zealand or Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't made it that far. Yeah.
I'm using the vacuum cubes. Hopefully they take some of the
Some
weight
do,
off.
some do, some not so much.
So if you want to hear another,
Yes.
well, I've been to Antarctica and that was fabulous. 2 things that stand out in my mind. First of all, when I saw this picture with some kind of motorcycle,
Yeah, with 18.
that the shale, it looks like shale.
Mhm.
And when we got off of the ship, they brought us over on the by the water, by the water's edge. And I'm looking down and I see what I think is a brittle star. But I can't see a brittle star because I see brittle stars on Santa.
Right.
And so someone says to the naturalist, what is that? And I blurt out, it's a brittle star. And he looks at me and says, yeah, that's right. So in my mind, it's like, how do you get a brittle star on the Gulf side and then it's in Antarctica too? That it was
Mind blowing.
Yeah, mind blowing. And the other thing was mind blowing was going in a helicopter and going all around. It's like that was mind blowing too. Yeah. It's like amazing stuff. And those are the kind of things that I guess I'm looking for trips where I want to make it happen. And frankly, my favorite trips: Israel, Egypt, Colombia, things like that, where it's not the Greece. Right. I've done both. Right. So.
And I think that the common theme here is that we all appreciate the experiences and the memories that we created those moments, right? We're not talking about hardware. Although I have to say our ships have absolutely stunning furnishings. They're all fabulously, Ralph Lauren home design for our owner suites, the color palettes, once you step on board, it's more of a residential, like the high-end luxury residential feeling. It's not a hotel cookie cutter type of furnishings, but it takes you out of your comfort zone, right? I would never have thought to be in a fjord in Ísafjörður. Is that Ísafjörður? I could never say that. In Iceland. And it's freezing up there, and you see the sheep, and it was just not my thing.
That's you with your dog there?
That's me with my
Oh,
dog.
okay, great.
And all these things actually taught me, because I was always the one to say I'm not a nature girl. I am now, because I realize that nature is not, the mosquitoes in the Everglades in Miami, right? That's what I grew up with. That's what I know. So now I've realized, wow, these other things are just so fascinating. So we have over 8,000 tours and excursions for you to select from. I know it sounds overwhelming, but every port, every itinerary is unique, so they have different offerings. However, we do have what we call Go Local tours. So the Go Local tours will have you, getting closer with the culture, with, the residents. You can even have a meal at someone's home, cooked over, their stove at their house. It's a little too intimate and personal for me, but you know what? Some people really, really enjoy that. And engaging in the conversations and the families and, all the history behind that. Our culinary discovery tours, those are fascinating. You can actually be led by one of our chefs, which, by the way, is way back when it started, was chef would go offshore to purchase some of the ingredients.
Yeah.
And our guests would say, Chef, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to the market. Oh, can I come with? Sure, come along. And all of a sudden, we started seeing chefs walking off with guests, and she looked like Mama Duck with everyone calling. We're like, what's going on here? So you know what? We realized, yes, they definitely want to be a part of that. So that's how we started also with the culinary tours and the culinary center. There's one in Italy where you can have a fabulous dinner, candlelight, and then at the end you get a private serenade by Matteo Bocelli, which is Andrea Bocelli's son.
Oh, yes.
Pretty fascinating. We have food and wine trails, Aquamar wellness tour. So think of doing meditation somewhere in the Mediterranean in an olive grove. Beyond the Blueprints. Beyond the Blueprints is pretty fun, and believe it or not, a lot of our guests have really taken a liking to it. At first, when I heard about it, I was like, okay. So it's all about the architecture and these structures, these beautiful structures that we always hear and take pictures of, but now you're going to go behind the scenes and learn more in depth about it. So I've been on tours where the travelers are asking, what type of concrete is this? And I'm looking at them like, really? I just see concrete. But someone else sees something else, and the patterns and all this. So they really, really enjoy it. The Go Green tours, it's all about sustainability, which is something that we're heavily focused on. Trying to keep, our planet clean as much as possible. I know it sounds a little funny because we're a cruise line after all, right? And we have these big ships, although ours are not big. When you think of the industry average, our largest ship only carries 1,350 guests. So it's still very small by all means. And then of course our Oceania Cruises exclusives, which allows you to design and customize your own shore excursion a la carte as you wish. This is me with a big chunk of ice from the Davidson Glacier. This is probably one of my most fun experiences. I've never thought I'd do, it's not really a hike. I'm going to call it a hike because I want to call it a hike, but it was like a 10-minute walk in the forest, in the rainforest. And then you jump on the canoes and you go out to the Davidson Glacier. This is in Skagway, Alaska last year, by the way, which was absolutely phenomenal. And so activities on board are also quite a few, and I want to share this one special one with you as well. We used to have the artist loft on all of our ships, but we've kind of gone away with it because we have other experiences that some of our guests are really, really enjoying at this moment. One of them that's had a huge success is called the Link Digital Center. And basically what that is, it's a private classroom area, and you can just go in there and someone will show you how to post pictures onto social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. Maybe you're having some connectivity issues, with your laptop, whatever the case may be. They are there to help you. Sometimes they even go offshore while you're the excursion and help you take the picture so that it looks fabulous. And they'll give you the different angles and points on how to do that. Plus, you can come back and show off to everyone that made fun of you for not knowing how to use social media. Now you know how to do that, and you can say, "Look what I learned," and got it. And believe it or not, those they fill up. I was like, "Wow!" I was really, really impressed. I know that there's a lot of classes there that I would love to take, and those are all complimentary. It's just on the first come, first served basis. We also have mixology classes. Just so many different things to do on board. Our Aquamar Spa Center, like the fitness classes, the equipment, state-of-the-art equipment, all that is complimentary. Obviously, if you're going to indulge in spa treatments, there will be a charge for that. But to use the facility, that's all complimentary. So the Oceania Cruises difference really lies in the fact that our motto is your world, your way. It's not just a tagline. It's not because it sounds nice. It really, really is. We've customized. Oceania Cruises was built with that in mind to allow our guests to be able to customize their vacation as they wish. We understand it's not a one size, fits all. Luxury is definitely not that. It's not being boxed into something. It's not having you pay for inclusions that you're not going to take advantage of. It's really taking advantage of those amenities that really matter the most to our guests. And this is something that we've also learned from our past guest surveys and research that we've done. So with all of your sailings, you will always have gourmet specialty dining restaurants included. Shipboard gratuities. Nobody wants to worry about gratuities and having to do the math and figuring it all out. And, if you're sailing with a friend, who's doing what, let us take care of that. Don't worry about that at all. Unlimited Wi-Fi for 2 guests, Starlink Wi-Fi, all the sodas, the specialty coffees, and the teas. So we have tea time every day at 4 p.m. Fabulous with the string quartet, and they bring out the scones and the little finger sandwiches. Just lovely. I only drink tea when I'm on board because I absolutely love the whole experience of it. It's not even about the tea, it's about how I feel when I'm on there. Then you have the still and sparkling Euro water. We all know how expensive water bottles get when you're traveling abroad. Plus, you also have these fabulous little water bottles that you each have now in your stateroom, and there will be refillable stations along the way also, and you can bring those offshore as well. Then we have our juices, smoothies, and gourmet ice cream. Gourmet ice cream. If you hear anything, did you hear gourmet ice cream? There's actually one called, it's my favorite, it's called the Secret Breakfast. And it's Tahitian vanilla. And it has like crumpled frosted flakes in it and then a splash of bourbon. So good. So good. That's my secret for breakfast. That's my secret breakfast. So, and they change it out every day. And that's the thing. We alternate our menu. So even if you're doing a longer voyage, for those that are retired and are doing maybe a 72-day sailing, you're not going to have to worry about, seeing the same menu over and over again. Laundry services. Well, if you're in a concierge or above, you do get complimentary laundry service from either your butler or your concierge attendants. It's 3 bags per stateroom. And it's like 20 plus garments per bag. So it's pretty decent. But if not, you still have the laundrette, which is also complimentary, and it has a TV and a refrigerator. It's very bougie, not unlike any other laundry place that you'll ever see. And then we also have the choice of wine and beer with lunch and dinner, or a shore excursion credit. So many of our guests are really interested in a bar package, right? And so they don't feel like they need to pay the bill for the bar tab for the rest of the ship, whether it's because of wellness or health issues or medications or just because, right? And it seems to be a trend nowadays. Even the younger folks are drinking less, which is great. So we do offer wine or beer during lunch and dinner, but if you don't want that, then you can take advantage of a shore excursion credit. So the longer the sailing, the more shore excursion credit. If you don't want to use it as a shore excursion credit, but you want to use it for the spa, that's fine too. You can do that because it's your world, your way, right?
So let me ask a question about that. So you're saying wine and beer at lunch?
At lunch and dinner.
Oh, and dinner. Okay.
Yeah.
Those shore excursions are not included.
Shore excursions are not included, no. But we do give you a shore excursion credit, and you can use that towards any type of a shore excursion. Or anything else.
That's like one person in the cabin gets the credit.
So it'll usually be either 300 per person or yes. So, and then that way you could just, yeah, or you could just purchase something and use it all towards whatever. Right now, as of today, we actually have a new promotion with up to 50% off on sailings. 46 of them are for 2026 and 50 plus are for 2027. So definitely take advantage. Talk to the ladies here at Roseborough. And I have to tell you, when you're booking vacations like this is not you're just going to jump on the, on online and pick a flight and then that. No, you want to talk to a professional. You want to talk to someone that's been there, done that, can show you the ropes and really guide you through it. If you do a group and they're guiding you, even better, right? Because you're traveling with like-minded guests. We do very, very well with solo guests because of the size of our ships, because of the way that they feel on board. One of the main reasons that our guests return time and time again is how they felt. And it's because of the hospitality. Our staff will know you by name. They'll know your likes, your dislikes, your quirks, right? They'll make sure that they cater to your every need because they do it with passion. It comes from the heart. Again, that's why the gratuities are taken out of the equation. It's just a relationship building. As the gentleman said about people wanting to find out if he's the artist in residence and sale, we get those calls all the time in reference to like a butler. Is, so-and-so on this sailing because I want to be, I want him to be my butler or her be my butler. It just really depends, but you build those connections and you can only do that with the smaller ships. So up to 50% savings. Here are some featured voyages. If you're looking to do Sydney round trip, this one has a 50% off on the Oceania Riviera. Then you have the tropical retreats, which is Miami round trip, only 7 days, December 14 on Oceania Vista. And I have to say, Vista is absolutely stunning. I think Vista was my favorite ship until Allura came out. And now Allura is my favorite ship. And it's only because she has the creperie, which is brand new to the Oceania Cruises, a whole creperie venue for that. And then, of course, we have another Miami round trip on Marina, also 40% off. And, we have plenty of other new ships coming down the pipe in the next 5 years. We have 5 other ships in order, Sonata, also designed, Aurelia designed for the longer voyages and the well-traveled guests. Aurelia is actually she's going to start in 2028. And she is a refurbishment of our Nautica. So think of 2 staterooms, gutted out and made into one fabulous suite. So it's going to be all suites, butler service, concierge service, absolutely phenomenal. Also from Roseborough Travel right now, if you book between today and the 31st, we're going to add an additional $200 shipboard credit for your stateroom. And I have one more quick video. Pretty much what I wanted for you to understand, about traveling with Oceania Cruises. It's not busy, it's not loud, it's not bright colors, there's not children running around. It's very, very different. It's about you exploring, it's about you connecting, creating memories. That's what it's about. Back to my suitcase. I wanted to play a fun little game and I wanted to see, what do you think was my favorite thing that I brought back from one of my most recent trips?
Your suitcase.
The first person that guesses gets the suitcase.
Your iceberg.
Luggage shattered.
Ice water? Do you have ice water?
Yeah.
We have ice water though.
But I did make iced coffee with ice from the iceberg.
Where was your last trip?
It was,
That helps.
well, it wasn't my last trip. It was a recent trip because my last trip was to Alaska. That was a work trip. The one before that was Iceland.
Coffee. Not nice.
Wow.
Tomatoes.
And if nobody guesses, we have a whole group of names.
A hat, I'm gonna go there.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up.
I bought headbands when I was there for my friends. Those are nice.
Lots of sweaters, lots.
Okay, we're gonna, so we'll leave the suspense and then I'll show you what it was.
Memory. Memory.
Oh,
Memory.
Yeah, but she can't raffle those on.
well, because here's the thing. He's right. It's not really what you put in your suitcase that you bring back. It's really what you bring back in your heart and your memories. That's what we like to bring up.
Those out.
You did.
So yes, so for his long 72-day sailing, what is your name?
Frank.
Frank. Frank is the lucky winner of his house.
72 days. It's really small clothes.
All right. And Miss Amanda,
Get one of those for some
But just
reason.
to be fair, everybody's a winner because Maggie got a whole bunch of prizes for you all in your seats. And just so you know, I'm thinking foodie. And those of you who live in town know that there's De La Vega's restaurant. I know your name. I walked away and I was like, I called her the wrong De La Vega. I called her De La Vega. I had a panic attack. So I'd rather just tell all of you. I do know that. I do know that.
that we email and talk all the time. Yes.
De La Vega.
Related to
And they have a great chef. So
Okay,
If you're the chef there, we're loving all of you.
There you go.
She's amazing.
So on behalf of Roseborough Travel and Oceania Cruises, we want to thank you all for joining us today. Our team here is ready to set up any appointments that you may want to make, discovery calls, and of course, book that 76 days, 120 days. What was that?
I called it 72, but
72, I think we need to do. Frank just retired. Everybody give him a round of applause.
For 6 months ago, right?
You said it was 186.
there is, that's the around the world. Around the world, and it's only 6 months.
Did anybody win Powerball last night? It was almost $7 million.
There you go.
Right.
Did you share your bookings?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, so if you want, please eat some food because we're gonna have to put it in our fridge and then throw it away and, you know.
And I'm gonna still be here, Mary. If you have questions, I know this was a little different. There wasn't, stateroom sizes and stuff like that. But that's all information that these guys know and that they can have that conversation.
Come out of your house to hear about stateroom.
Right.
If you come out of your house to experience the trips that you can go on, and then we can help you with that.
Exactly.
Maggie, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you all. Well, let me tell you again, I just want to thank my team because they're amazing.